You are listening to 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's Beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? It is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Walsh on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I am Kyle Walsh, the host of Truth to Power. And it's a great Wednesday, I guess for some. It is a great Wednesday. But as I take you through, you already know I got a shout out to my boy DJ Brother Z. How you doing, my boy?
Better now. I took a nap.
Took a little nap. I was a little cranky this morning.
Man.
I touched Zech. Zech said, don't touch me right
No.
now. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. My boy worked hard. Shout out to Zach. Shout out to Milwaukee Public Schools. Shout out to everybody who contributed yesterday to our MPS City Conference game of the week. But I got to get into it. So 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk, the text line. Yes, 833-212-1017 is the Truth Talk, the text line. Also, make sure y'all watch and stream us live. Yes, watch and stream us live on YouTube at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, but definitely chime in and watch and stream us live here on YouTube. Now, before I get into it with off the top here, Zach, you like my shirt today?
Look like you belong in Blues Clues.
I look like I belong in Blues Clues. No, I put it on today, and I got some compliments already. You know, I don't really dress to get the compliments of my coworkers, but I don't deny the compliments of my coworkers. If somebody tell me, my teammates tell me I look good or they like my shirt, they say, "Oh, that pink look good on you." I say, "Thank you." That's what I say. So I can definitely be gassed up. I guess my words of affirmation is one of my love languages, huh? Just showing me some love. So, again, shout out to my teammates who commented on my shirt today. But other than that, Truth Nation, we definitely got to get into it. There's a lot of things to talk about. I don't want to make this, we're going to talk about Trump every single day. And today is not directly at Trump. It's more talking about some of the things that are happening in the news. And I didn't talk about this yesterday because I felt like I didn't have enough information. We weren't sure what was going to happen. But now that we're kind of 24 hours past this federal funding freeze and some information has come out, now I think I want to get into it.
Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Off the Top on Truth to Power. Kyle, let Truth Nation know what you got to get off your chest today.
Truth Nation, okay, so we all heard the headlines. We all heard the stories. The federal funding freeze. Breaking news. President Trump signed a executive order that had a federal funding freeze that was supposed to be enacted or go into action at 5 p.m. yesterday, Eastern Standard Time. And it threw stuff into chaos. It threw a lot of people into a frenzy. And again, yesterday when I heard about it, I was like, all right, everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. What they said is not going to affect them things. So let's just chill and let's just kind of see how this works out. Because I, for one, do believe that there are areas that we can clean up federal funding. I feel like we can scale back some of the spending. Now, what I don't like is that a lot of this scaled back federal spending that we have is going to go towards tax breaks that impact businesses to bring their corporate tax rate down to 15% and reduce the tax burden that literally people who make over $450,000 have per year, and reduce their tax burden while not really impacting our tax burden for those who make significantly less than that or just less than that. So that's the beef I do have with it, but I didn't want to jump to conclusions. I wanted to give the benefit of the doubt. And to be honest, Truth Nation, when it comes to this federal funding freeze, I don't know what to believe. I really don't, because when I look at it and I listen to it, the Trump administration yesterday, their White House secretary, press secretary, she said, hey, listen, Social Security, if you're on that, you're not going to be impacted. Okay, that's good. Medicare, if you're on that, you're not going to be impacted. Those who are getting food stamps, you're not going to be impacted. So I said, okay. That's good, because that impacts people on a day-to-day. They also said people who are on welfare, they aren't going to be impacted. That is what the White House press secretary said. So with that, I believed what she said. I mean, I what else am I supposed to do? If she says it, then I guess I'm supposed to believe it. But then later on, I find out that what she said was not 100% true, because we ran into some issues where people did lose access to different things. There were 20 states who indeed did lose access to their Medicare reimbursement system. Matter of fact, the state of Wisconsin is one of the states that lost access temporarily to their Medicare reimbursement system. So what I don't understand is, how did you say that Medicare wasn't going to be impacted, but now Medicare actually was impacted where people were locked out their system? See, I just think there's a lot of incompetence going on. And I know the governor, J.B. Pritzker from Illinois, talked about what his state felt yesterday and what other states felt yesterday about this federal funding freeze that has a stay right now. A U.S. federal court judge in D.C. put a stay on it, so they have until Monday to figure out what's going to happen. But the Trump administration lied. They did. They weren't honest. They weren't honest, and they're actually just a complete mess, and they threw things into chaos. And J.B. Pritzker had some thoughts and comments about how his state and other states were impacted by this federal funding freeze.
What the White House press secretary said at the podium earlier, I believe it is my duty to report to you the truth of what actually happened today in Illinois. Donald Trump's administration is lying to you. The White House's attempt to walk back what they did today does not match what we saw on the ground. They assured us that Medicaid would not be affected. That was a lie. Our state agencies were unable to access the Medicaid system until an hour ago, preventing payments for services. And this has been reported from states across the nation. When we reached out to federal agencies, they informed us that they have been directed not to discuss any guidance with states. They have canceled previously scheduled meetings for this week. The White House assured us that Head Start would not be affected. That was a lie. Providers across the state experienced outages, and some were unable to make their payroll. They assured us that they were doing nothing to take away individual assistance from the most vulnerable people in our state, but they refused to say that they would restore LIHEAP, the Low-Income Housing Energy Assistance Program, payments to support the unemployment system, and Meals on Wheels. These are programs that hundreds of thousands of Illinoisans depend on: children, seniors, veterans, working parents. Let's just be clear about what happened over the last 24 hours. At 7:42 p.m. last night, we saw a memo from the White House saying that they were pausing federal funding across the board. This morning, along with all 50 states across the country, we discovered that our ability to access critical federal funding had been cut off. And now the administration would like us to believe that these were just coincidental website outages. Donald Trump and his administration have not earned the benefit of the doubt. They are either lying to us or they are critically incompetent.
See, he said it best, because I wanted to give this administration the benefit of the doubt. It's only been 9 days. It's been less than 2 weeks. But again, have they earned that? And I think the governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, and get to know that name, he's going to be a candidate for the 2028 presidential election. He said it best. He said it absolutely best, because what we saw yesterday was a complete debacle. How is it that people have lost access to things that are important? You're talking about Head Start, which helps educate young children. You're talking about Medicaid that helps, keep people healthy. You're talking about funding that can impact states, right? I think people don't understand what this federal funding actually goes to. Y'all got to understand, we see construction on 4394. That is federal funding. You see housing developments here in Milwaukee. That is federal funding. Some of y'all know people that get energy assistance, right? So you are able to stay warm and pay your bills so your lights don't go off, your heat don't go out, or in the summer, I guess your AC don't go out. Energy assistance, that is federal funding. You see grants to help the homeless get housed. You see grants that help women who are going through domestic violence situations get out those situations and get housed in different places. Those are all federally funded grants, dollars. And those were frozen yesterday. Things that actually impact people were frozen yesterday. So I cannot give them the benefit of the doubt when they are that sloppy. That's what that is that is being extremely sloppy. And to be honest, this is complete incompetence. I mean, this is a failure on the Trump administration to administer this executive order properly. Because what we saw yesterday is we saw Americans. Yes, we saw Americans have to go without for at least 1 minute and for hours. For at least 1 minute, American was negatively impacted by the incompetence of the Trump administration for freezing federal funds and not being able to describe or particularly roll out the plan successfully. People yelled and screamed about how when the affordable health care, also known as Obamacare, was rolled out and there were issues. But with those issues, that was sign-up issues. That was website crashing issues. What we're talking about is issues of agencies not being able to have funds. And y'all think this might just be this is national. No, this is local as well. An organization here in Wisconsin called Wisconsin Balance of State, COC. They released something about an hour ago that said earlier this week, the White House directed the Office of Management and Budget to order all federal agencies to temporarily block activities associated with the obligations and disbursements of all grants, loans, and other financial assistance by 5 p.m. Tuesday, January 28th. As of 1/29, today, for this organization at 8:45 a.m., they are still unable to access the portal to access funding for homeless programs. Homeless programs, what in the hell are we doing? This ain't what we voted for, or y'all voted for, or some people voted for. We didn't vote for homeless people to not have access to funds within a span of 24 hours. We didn't vote for American citizens to be treated like second-class citizens. This is not what we looked for. This is not what we voted for. This does not build America. This is not America at its finest. See, I would like to be optimistic about all of this, but it's hard. It really is hard to be optimistic because I know deep down we have to be concerned. We've seen this before. And honestly, act number 2 has been worse. Nothing has been done to uplift our day-to-day lives so far. This was a complete mess. A complete mess. And I'm telling y'all, living in the city of Milwaukee, I know what incompetence looks like because I see it every day coming out of City Hall. Incompetence. So understanding, I just want y'all to get this. they were going to put a federal freeze on funding starting at 5 p.m. yesterday, but they told us it would not impact Medicare. It would not impact food stamps. It would not impact welfare. But indeed, it did impact different states in their ability to successfully do their job to help people. We're talking about things that help people. So we need to be very, very mindful of this. But also, I want y'all to understand is that when I think about some of this funding, right, there is something called the Educational Opportunity Program, EOP. We have EOP at UW Milwaukee, also a strong EOP at Marquette University, and EOP is across this country. The Educational Opportunity Program helps provide education, right, a reduced tuition to students of color to attend many universities. So universities depend on this funding to help diversify their student population and provide potential opportunities for those who don't have the wherewithal to fund an education, those who work their ass off, those who pulled themselves by the bootstrap under the age of 18 to get good grades, to apply to college, and to think about their future. That's what they tell these kids to do. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and that's what those kids did. But EOP is a federally funded program that tries to get black and brown students to go to college. EOP is under attack, and guess what? EOP is a DEI program in their eyes. Diversity, equity, inclusion at universities. And guess who may see their funding cut? EOP. So now if EOP gets cut, now you have students who are enrolled at universities who are getting tuition who may have their money ripped away from them. Or students who are juniors in high school, sophomore in high school, seniors in high schools who want to apply to these different institutions and who are in the process of going through the scholarship process to earn a scholarship to go to Marquette, to go to NYU, to go to these different places with the Educational Opportunity Program, and that might be ripped from them. You cannot just stop funding at the drop of a dime. You cannot do that to human beings, but you cannot do that to young black students. You have to understand what is happening. At some point, somebody needs to speak up. Because again, I don't know all the details when it comes to this federal funding freeze. And I don't think the Trump administration knows all the details of when it comes to this federal funding freeze, because they specifically told us these things wouldn't be impacted, but then we find out that these things are impacted. The fact that homeless people in the state of Wisconsin, as of this morning, the people that assist them did not have access to the funds to help them is asinine. It's ridiculous. And I don't give a damn who you voted for. You could vote for Trump. You could have voted for Biden. You could have voted for the Green Party. Hell, you could have voted for Harambe. I don't care who you voted for. But this right here, this is about human decency. I don't care if you're going to freeze federal funds, but you have to roll it out in the proper way, a way that makes sense. Yesterday was ridiculous and pure incompetence. A 12-year-old, a group of 12-year-olds could have looked at a plan and could have executed the plan better than these adults in the White House. They don't know what they are doing. They have not a clue what they are doing. They're just throwing stuff at a wall, just hoping it all works out. So y'all better get prepared, Truth Nation. I'm telling y'all this right now. Y'all better get prepared, because this is only the beginning. They are coming for a lot of things, and they just showed you a little glimmer, a little glimpse. They showed you that they gonna come for y'all health care. They showed you they gonna come for Head Start, which is allowing for 3K students to go to school, which we complain that MPS messed up and lost the funding for, which I'm mad about that. But now imagine states across this country losing that funding. They gonna come for us being able to house the homeless. They gonna come for vouchers. Hell, there are people who make money, who make a living of helping others who have a grant-funded program that they work for that may lose their jobs. What are we doing? Now is the time to speak up. And I'm telling y'all this right now. When it comes to the Educational Opportunity Program, I'll be damned if they pull that away. Because there are way too many kids here in Milwaukee who are benefiting from that. There are way too many kids who are going on to do great things after they get done with that program. 833-212-1017. Had to just get that off my chest. Trump federal freezes. What are y'all thoughts on that? 833-212-1017. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. I'm a cool off, but on the other side, we're going to continue to have a conversation talking about this federal funding freeze, but then also we got to talk about some transgender bans going on as well because, it's an interesting thing. We'll have more on the other side. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Tune in to the award-winning 1017 The Truth's Business Spotlight this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. between The Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. Me, your girl Noni Juice, will be joined by Ashley Lucas, and we are getting into the nitty-gritty of how Associated Bank helps support small businesses and some things small businesses should keep their eye on in the new year. So again, make sure you tune into the Business Spotlight with Associated Bank this Thursday at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King described a true education as one that successfully combines intelligence and character. Concordia University prepares learners for meaningful lives of leadership and service to meet all of life's callings. They offer world-class programs online and face-to-face in a faith-based, student-focused environment. Classes are small, opportunities endless. Visit cuw.edu to learn more. I'm 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris, and I'll be at the MLK Prayer Breakfast at Concordia University, Wisconsin. And while this is an invitation-only event, I invite you to listen to the event live on The Truth Saturday, February 1st from 10 a.m. till noon. The brunch at Concordia University, Wisconsin, hosted by Walter Goodwin, director of the Office of Multicultural Engagement, is a gathering honoring the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, a time of reflection and prayer. The theme of the brunch at Concordia University this year is Upon This Rock from Matthew 16:18. And I say also unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Immerse yourself in a place where bold ideas are sought after, where all are encouraged to bring their personal flourish. Here, innovation is a way of life. In this city, the beat flows. Together, we're dancing to the rhythm. Forward. Now, it's your turn to grab hold of that energy, where you'll remember not just the meals, the celebrations, or the oncoming coast. What you'll remember is how we made you feel. Come experience Milwaukee, where fresh meets fearless every day.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is Truth to Power, the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Before we get back into it, one call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices. If you or a loved one is ever injured in an accident, y'all know what to do. Make one call, that's all, and Gruber will take care of the rest. See, they focus on the legal aspect, so you can focus on the healing process. Don't get taken advantage of by these insurance companies. Get with the winning team and a winning law firm like Gruber Law Offices that will truly stand up for you. And what I love about Gruber Law Offices, when you make that one call, that's all, they do not make you pay a single penny until they win your case. Yes, you pay no fees whatsoever until they win your case. So visit them today at gruber-law.com. That's gruber-law.com, or visit them or call them at 414-276-6666. That's 414-276-6666. It's one call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices. This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. And before we get to talking about the transgender ban in the military and also the transgender ban on gender-affirming care that was put out there for those 19 years or younger, I just want to wrap up this last conversation of why we should all be very weary and we should all be very active in what's going on. And again, if you want to join in on the conversation, 833-212-1017. That is the Truth to Talk and text line. Also, make sure you watch and stream us live on YouTube, 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Make sure y'all hit that like button. We need that like button to be hit. And also make sure you all subscribe to 1017 The Truth. And so I just want y'all to understand that this is not about who you voted for, right? Like this when we talk about federal funding, we need to focus on the fact that people need federal funding, right? Like people are employed off federal funding, not because they're pimping the system. No, they're doing the work that the Lord honestly intended for us to do, right? Shelter those who need shelter, feed those that need to be fed. That's exactly what the Lord's work is. And so you have individuals who are working on government contracts, who are working on government funding, who are sitting here doing the work that needs to be done. Everybody cannot live their life perfectly. We're all imperfect. And some people have a journey that runs into roadblocks, right? Everybody's journey is very different. And so I'm not going to sit here and judge somebody who's homeless. I'm not going to sit here and judge somebody in a domestic abuse situation. I'm not going to sit here and judge somebody who's hungry, right? Because we all have different things that we suffer through that can keep us from our pure greatness and living up to our potential. But here in America, here in this world, we are all supposed to lend a giving hand to help those. So when we have individuals that literally their job is to go around and help the homeless. I know somebody here on 1017 The Truth on YouTube talked about street angels, right? Like that is a useful tip. I was at a Bucks game just last week. We walked outside of the Bucks game, and there was a gentleman. This was last Thursday, very cold outside. A gentleman against a fence. And he obviously looked cold. And you know what my lady did? My lady called street angels, right? She called street angels because she saw a man who obviously was homeless, who was outside in negative 10-degree weather. And she felt compelled enough to say, let me call the street angels to see if we can get some assistance for this man. That is what that's for. That's what we're supposed to be. That is what human decency looks like. I'm blessed and fortunate to have somebody like that in my life that looks at others and wants to do for others. But unfortunately, when we look at the White House, that is not the same case for them. Because I will repeat, I am okay with them looking at federal spending and trying to find waste. That is fine, right? That is okay. That's called an audit. I'm not against auditing a budget and saying we spend wastefully here, because in my life I say, what can I audit and what can I take out? That is okay. It is the improper execution of this, which is despicable and also inept and terrible. As the U.S. government, you're supposed to be better than that. You can't just throw something out there and not expect for human beings to be impacted. This is the administration's fault, and we should all call it out. Even the Trump voters should call this out and say, yeah, this was a little bit of a debacle. He got to clean this up. That's okay. It's okay to say that this was a debacle. But again, when you have homeless people here in the state of Wisconsin, as of this morning at 9 a.m., who still did not have access, those who helped the homeless did not have access to the federal funds that they have to help their program, to help homeless individuals, that is a problem. When you have states across the U.S., 20 states to be exact, that did not have access to their Medicaid programs yesterday, that is a problem, because that wasn't supposed to be impacted. When you have students on college campuses going to the offices of those who run these EOP programs across this country and being concerned if they can even stay in school, and them people look like you and I, that is a problem. You as an African American listening, you as a Hispanic listening, you as an American listening should have an issue when young students enrolled in college are concerned about losing their funding. They shouldn't even have to think about that. Their focus should be on going to school, getting their academics together, and finding internships and getting a job. But instead, Trump threw chaos in their life and threw chaos across this country. So that's why I am so frustrated with this botched rollout of federal funding freeze that Donald Trump's administration had. It was botched. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. There is nothing in between. Because when you say that it's not supposed to impact this and then it does impact that, that makes you a liar. That's what the administration has done. They have lied to you. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk to text line. If you agree with the federal funding freeze, I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear from anybody. You can text in or call in if you believe that the rollout yesterday was perfect. If you believe the rollout was good yesterday, come on, call in. 833-212-1017. I would love to hear from you because I'm open-minded and trying to hear the other side. So again, that is 833-212-1017. Also, make sure y'all go in and watch live on YouTube. That's 1017 The Truth on YouTube, streaming live. And on the other side, when we come back, I have thoughts on the transgender ban in the military and transgender reaffirming medication and things like that that get provided to young people. I have thoughts on that because I'm not one that 100% agrees with gender reaffirming things. So I kind of want to pick your brain to see if I'm going down the right direction. So keep it locked. You're listening to Truth to Power, 833-212-1017. Is it good to ban gender affirming surgeries? Is it good to ban transgenders from the military? 833-212-1017. It may be.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
It's time for the 32nd Annual Young Gentlemen's Scholarship Botillion, presented by the Seven Jewels Foundation and the Delta Chi Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. A Botillion young gentleman is a high school senior in Milwaukee who's about to embark on adulthood and has chosen to pursue higher education, college, trade, or technical school. One lucky bowl will win a $5,000 scholarship. Apply by February 21st, 2025, and for more information, call Kevin Patterson at 414-364-2835.
Join the Bucks and tip off Black History Month with the team's Black Excellence Game, presented by Hennessy on Sunday, February 2nd. Celebrate the next generation of Black leaders through storytelling, performances, and more. Enjoy incredible on-court action when the team faces off against Memphis, while we shine a spotlight on Black excellence in our community. Visit bucks.com/impact for details and to secure your tickets. That's bucks.com/impact.
Truth Nation, get ready to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community as we host our first annual Truth Community Awards on Friday, February 28th at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel. This will be a Truth family party where we will celebrate the unsung heroes of our community and we roll out the red carpet for those making a positive impact every day. Tickets are selling fast, so go to 1017thetruth.com today to make sure you do not miss out on the biggest celebration in Milwaukee. Tickets are only $25 and includes free food, free drinks, and free Truth giveaways. Don't miss an evening filled with entertainment, heartfelt stories, and celebrating our city with the 1017 The Truth team. Visit 1017thetruth.com right now to buy your tickets to our Truth Community Awards. That is 1017thetruth.com to secure your spot for a night of celebrating the excellence of our community. The Truth Community Awards is presented by Potawatomi Casino and Hotel and brought to you by the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. They bring a variety of perspectives from diverse backgrounds, innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions, telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready to begin? Explore teaching at teach.org, a campaign supported by the U.S. Department of Education, Teach.org, and 1 million teachers of color.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Sneib. A tough one for the Milwaukee Bucks last night as they lose in Portland to the Trailblazers. This one, 125-112.
We didn't have beautiful ball movement, next pass, hitting the open guy the entire night. We just didn't. The ball stuck all night.
Head coach Doc Rivers there as the loss drops Milwaukee to a record of 26-19. Next up for the Bucks is a matchup with the Spurs in San Antonio on Friday night. And lastly, we'll head over to college hoops where the 9th-ranked Marquette Golden Eagles secured the Big East road win over Butler. This one, 78-69.
Marquette down 2 with the basketball. Already in the front court. Cam Jones, quick 3. Good! Transition 3. How about you saying don't think about it too much?
He just stepped on the court. Bam.
With the win last night, Marquette improving to an overall record of 18-3 on their season. The Sports Update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
It is Truth to Power on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
$1 million. This is not no cap talk.
Yeah. Bizzo. Yeah.
Truth Nation, we are just under a month away from the Truth Community Awards. Make sure you get your tickets now for our first annual Truth Community Awards, which takes place on Friday, February 28th, celebrating individuals making a real difference in our community. Visit 1017thetruth.com to purchase your tickets today. They are only $25, which includes heavy appetizers, a drink, 2 drinks actually I was told today, and a great time hanging out with our Truth family. Don't wait. You do not want to miss out on the best community awards event of the year. Visit 1017thetruth.com to buy your tickets to our first annual Truth Community Awards at Potawatomi Casino and Hotel on Friday, February 28th, starting at 5:30 p.m. Truth Nation, so on the other side I talked about gender-affirming care. Gender-affirming care for people under the age of 19 and also in the military as well. And so Donald Trump signed a ban yesterday on gender-affirming care for those under the age of 19. And what this means is that the U.S. government would basically not provide funding for it, but more importantly, would basically any hospital that provided this care, right? This is where it's tricky. Any hospital that provided that care will be at risk of potentially losing some type of funding, right? And that's where I think it gets extremely tricky, and I just get nervous about it, right? And I'll be very honest. As a parent, one day I hope to be, I'm not for it. Like, I'll be honest. I am against allowing my kid to have any gender affirming care at a young age, because that's just my own perspective. That is me, right? That is my perspective. But when I think about the government coming in and telling private citizens that we're not going to fund your local hospital if they provide your child or adult, because 18 is an adult, 19 is an adult, with gender-affirming care, that hospital that services veterans, that hospital that services senior citizens, that hospital that has a pediatric center, that hospital that helps adults with their checkups and all different things, because we don't like them doing this one thing as a government, personally, not based off science, we're going to pull away funding from them. That's just, again, that's not right. It is a pure government overreach, right? And to be honest, I feel like the government has no right whatsoever to try to determine what you and your family decide to do. You can feel any way that you want, but my personal belief ain't the scientific beliefs, right? That's what it should be based off. Everything should be based off science. And again, I am against gender-affirming care for a child, but I also don't have the right to dictate what somebody else does with their child. That's what I truly believe, and that's not for me to say. It is not for me to say. And what I think is so interesting is that the decision made by the Trump administration wasn't based off research. It wasn't based off science. It was based off hate. There wasn't logic in this. It was based off hate. It had nothing to do with, the science tells us this and that, and this could impact. No, it had nothing to do with that. It's based off an opinion. You can't make decisions like this based off your personal opinion. There needs to be some type of science, some type of facts that support what you're saying. And again, like, people take their kids hunting. They take them four-wheeling. They take them ice fishing, right? They take them drinking sometimes. Because remember, in the state of Wisconsin, under the age of 21, you can take your child to a bar, right? Some parents even smoke with their kids. I disagree with that. But again, though I may disagree with this, it is not for me to decide what people do. Children die on four-wheelers every single year. I guarantee you there are more children who die in four-wheel accidents. You know, four-wheelers where you got four wheels on like an ATV. There's more children that lose their lives doing that. There's more children that lose their lives going hunting than lose their lives because of gender-affirming care. In reality, the gender-affirming care can actually help save a life, right? It can help save a life because somebody thinks of their identity of being this or being that. And if they're able to live their truth, that can actually have them have a better self-esteem about themselves. So your personal opinion on this, it shouldn't matter. It should be based off the actual science. And science doesn't support what happened yesterday. And again, I am completely against gender-affirming care personally. That's me, right? That is me. But we laughed at women. My body, my choice. We laughed at that, but women actually should be concerned because this is just the first step. This is absolutely the first step. And what I find crazy about all this is that whether it's the federal funding freeze or it's now the gender-affirming care that for some reason that impacts less than 1% of the population is something that we want to skyrocket to a high level of priorities. The price of eggs is still high, and it's because of the bird flu. What has he done to reduce the price of eggs because of the bird flu? Have we found other sources? Have we negotiated with other countries to maybe get an influx in eggs? What have we done? Where's the executive order on that? Who the hell cares about gender-affirming care when people want to go make their omelets and got to pay $8 to $9 a carton? What does gender-affirming care, why is that higher on the list of executive orders than gas prices? Gas prices, they hovering around 3. He was supposed to bring that down. They actually done went up since Trump done been in office. Where's the executive order on that? Price gouging. We're still seeing price gouging. Where is the executive order on that? No. Those don't matter. Those don't really hurt you. No, gender-affirming care, which most of us don't know a child that's going through gender-affirming care. Let's try to solve that. That should be a priority. Meanwhile, we go to our grocery store and we still see prices are high. Maybe y'all were lied to. Because that was supposed to be done day 1. And we're on day 9. And the price of eggs is going up. Gas prices going up. I'm going to Sam's Club today to get gas because everywhere I drive is $2.99 to $3 a gallon. 833-212-1017. We're having a conversation about gender-affirming care. Now, I see the calls. I'm going to get to them. I see the text. I'm going to get to them. Now, the other issue I have with this is that last week, Donald Trump had an executive order which banned transgenders from being able to serve openly in the military. Now this one, it bothered me because there's a reason why a lot of our grandparents or some great-grandparents, or for those who are older, parents, served in battalions with blacks only because they thought we were less than, or at a certain point weren't allowed to be in the military because they thought we couldn't do enough, right? We're just seeing history repeat itself. There's just a different target. And when I think about banning someone from the military based off their personal belief of how they see themselves, that is pure discrimination. That is the finest definition of discrimination. You are telling somebody, because you identify as this way, I'm going to ban you. Do y'all not understand what this is? They are telling somebody, not based off science, but based, again, off personal belief and personal opinion, that because you are a transgender, you aren't good enough to serve. You're not fit enough to serve our country, a country that right now is struggling to find more people to wear the uniform to protect and serve our country. The administration in office right now is being blatantly discriminatory against transgender individuals. Y'all do realize there are transgender individuals in the military today who are decorated in what they do, who have served for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, have honors, and have a livelihood in the military that are about to lose their jobs, who are about to lose their livelihood, who are about to lose the thing they are passionate about serving and protecting this country against a foreign enemy, where instead the enemy is the person who is pulling the strings. How is this not discrimination? I don't care, again, how you feel about transgenders. I will say it. I am against gender-affirming care for children. Yes, that is me. Kyle Wallace is against that. But Kyle Wallace does not speak for anybody else. I don't speak for Sherwin Hughes. I don't speak for Carrie Noni and Benjamin. I don't speak for Tory Lowe. I don't speak for Ken Harris. I don't speak for DJ Brother Z. I can't speak for them.
Hell no.
And I can't. Hell no, I can't. I can't tell them how to think and how to believe. And neither should the government tell parents how to treat what's best for their kids. And the military should not be telling transgender individuals who are already serving in the military, you are fired because you identify as a woman, but you were born a man. You identify as a man, but you were born a woman. So I don't care about all those accolades you got. And the crazy thing about it is Trump, the individual that signed the executive order for this, is a draft dodger. He didn't have the balls to step up and do what these men and these women are doing. He ran from his duty to serve his country. And he has the audacity to sit here and tell trans individuals they are not good enough to serve or continue to serve because he doesn't like you. That is discrimination, Truth Nation. That is something we fought against. We should not stand for it now because we disagree with somebody's lifestyle. We should not allow it to happen because we don't like what they're doing. Be better than that. 833-212-1017. Brian, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your thoughts on this conversation?
I just have to push back a little bit on that. I think he's talking about serving and identifying it and instead of keeping your mouth shut about it. What they're trying to do, and I hate to speak for them, but what they're actually trying to do is to give the image of America as the old war horse that they used to be.
Hey, Brian.
They don't want America to be. They don't want America.
I'm gonna interject really quickly. Do you understand now? Can you imagine somebody telling you not to identify as a black man? And again, it's different because you were born black. Transgender individuals feel they're born a different way. But can you imagine somebody just telling somebody, "Hey, like that was like don't ask, don't tell." We were past that over a decade ago. We moved on from that. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, they're bringing it back.
But they're bringing it back. So how does somebody not? So Brian, tell me, how does somebody not identifying as a transgender, but they can go out there and kill 10 people in a battle or whatever it is, or they can serve and fly planes? How is it that they can do all this, but shut up about your identity? How does that make sense? How does them identifying as something take away from what their skill and their ability is? Because they're well tested, right? You can't be in certain jobs in the military without being battle tested, right? They don't just let anybody do that. So why can't they just identify, hey, like I was Susan yesterday and now I'm Stuart? What's wrong with that?
Well, the world isn't fair. Neither is the government. The bottom line is they're trying to project an image of toughness. They're trying to bring back the old image of America. That's their agenda.
Brian, I'm going to tell you this right now. Nobody looks at the American. Brian, so a month ago, did you look at the American military and say, boy, oh boy, they're weak because all those transgenders identifying? You think the world's really looking at the most powerful country in the world they're thinking about the couple of transgender individuals? No! Hell no, Brian. You know that ain't true.
Russia, China, the Saudis, the other foreign powers, they are looking at America.
Brian, real quick, I'm gonna tell you.
They looked at America as weak since Obama.
Brian, let's be honest.
They have looked at America as weak.
Brian, let me get you, because I gotta go to break. But let me get you real quick, Brian. You do realize that America is fighting a proxy war by funding Ukraine and having Ukrainian. And what is happening to Russia? Russia is struggling against the Ukraine army because of the arms we're sending and the arms that other countries in Europe are sending. So to think that Russia don't think that we couldn't obliterate their ass, that's crazy, Brian. But I appreciate you joining in and calling in and talking, man, because you always bring a great perspective and a different perspective that I think we definitely should hear. So thank you for calling in, 833-212-1017. Al, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your thoughts and comments on this conversation?
Well, my thoughts is this is the man who also said he would date his daughter like we in West Virginia. And what I also wanted to say is if we're trying to push an image, you should be able to be on the front line because that's an insult to the veterans who fought in the war and him and his granddaddy dodged the war. So that's not of American. That's the complete opposite.
I agree.
And how you raise your child is your business. Have a great day.
Thank you, Al. I 100% agree. Listen, I'm going to wrap this up on the other side. And I have no issue sharing my thoughts because that's what I signed up for. I signed up to share my authentic thoughts and my authentic views. So I have no issue letting people know where I stand when it comes to gender-affirming care for transgender children who identify as something. Listen, if your child's transgender, for me personally, I won't have Zaya Wade because I would tell my son that wants to transition to a daughter, I understand you, I'm going to support you, but when we get to the age of 18, we're going to have this conversation. But that's me. Dwayne Wade made a decision to make his daughter happy. And that's the most important thing. 833-212-1017. We are talking about gender-affirming care and the ban of transgenders identifying in the military. We'll wrap the show up on the other side. You're listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. 1017 The Truth is now the proud home of Milwaukee Public Schools City Conference basketball. Tune in every week so you don't miss out on the classic rivalry game we all love, the high-flying dunks that leave us in awe, and the memorable moments where Milwaukee basketball legends are born. City Conference basketball on 1017 The Truth is sponsored by Milwaukee Public Schools, MPS proud, and presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Reproductive justice is a framework, it's a movement, it's a vision for reproductive freedom, it's a right to have a child, it's a right to not have children, and this next part is really as important as the other parts. It's the right to birth and parent our children with dignity, and the right to live and parent our children in safe and healthy environments. So reproductive justice understands the ability of any person to control their destiny is directly related to the conditions of their communities. It looks at the intersections of discrimination in social, political, and economic systems, and it sheds lights on the barriers that these systems produce. And then we, reproductive justice advocates, fight against the barriers that prevent Black people and other people of color from exercising their rights. That's reproductive justice.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
What if you could ask a question that leads to a new way to treat asthma? Discover aspects of the far reaches of space or the depths of Lake Michigan. Develop better ways to manufacture. Researchers at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee ask questions, find answers, and add to our understanding every day. Their discoveries improve lives and fuel our economy. Every advance starts with a question. It starts at UWM, the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as one business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
1, 2, 3, ho!
This Saturday, be sure to tune into our special broadcast of the MLK Prayer Brunch, sponsored by American Family Insurance, live from the Concordia, University of Wisconsin. From 10 a.m. to noon, Dr. Ken Harris will be speaking with Concordia University, Wisconsin's Director of Multicultural Engagement, Walter Goodwin, about the impact of Dr. King's legacy. You'll also hear from the recipients of the MLK Student Leadership Awards. Again, that is MLK Prayer Brunch Live from Concordia University, Wisconsin, from 10 a.m. to noon this Saturday on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Also, if you ever miss any of our shows, make sure you go back and you download the 1017 The Truth app or go to 1017thetruth.com and listen back to the full show. And make sure y'all tap in and give me a like button here on social media and subscribe to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. And as we wrap up the show, we're talking about gender-affirming care and talk about the ban of transgenders from the military. I have to ponder. And somebody texted in talking about, Mari texted in talking about, where's the support for, forcing 12-year-old girls to, have babies through rape and different things like that, which I agree, but it made me think about Matt Gaetz. They're such big hypocrites where they're talking about protecting 19 and under, right? They want to protect them. We do realize Matt Gaetz had sexual relations with a 17-year-old. He brought a 17-year-old from one state to another and slept with a 17-year-old, and Congress knew it. Republicans called him out for it. Donald Trump knew it, and he still nominated him to be as part of his administration to be the Attorney General of the United States of America. He knew his man sexually assaulted or slept with 17-year-olds, and he still nominated him, but has the audacity to think that he's taking care of young children with gender-reaffirming care. It's hypocrisy. That's exactly what it is. But at the end of the day, like I said before, y'all, listen. We got to stand up. We got to speak out, because this federal funding freeze, this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. Just give it 3 months from now. Certain programs are going to be gone. More people will be struggling. And we're going to have chaos in our streets. This has been Truth to Power with me, Kyle Walsh, on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Thank y'all so much for joining me for the last hour. The Tory Lowe Show is up next. Y'all be good till tomorrow. Peace out.
You cannot look me in the face and tell me that America is the greatest country in the world when